It is one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. You're doing everything right. You're training hard, you're eating clean, and your body just refuses to cooperate. You've got that stubborn fat around the middle, it takes you days to recover from a workout, and your energy just tanks by 3 p.m. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone. It's a real place to be, and it's incredibly frustrating.
But what's actually happening under the surface is a very specific biological shift. See, your growth hormone system, the very system that tells your body how to burn fat, build lean muscle, recover, and even sleep deeply, it's naturally declining. And that's exactly what brings us to the 2X blend. It's a combination of two peptides, Tesamorelin and Ipamorelin. Think of it as a precision-tuned therapy that works on both parts of your growth hormone system at the same time. We're hitting two pathways to get one amazing synergistic result.
Okay, let's get into the weeds just a little bit because this is fascinating. Your growth hormone isn't released in a steady stream. It's released in these little pulses from your pituitary gland. And those pulses are controlled by two main ghost signals. One is called GHRH, and the other is a signal called ghrelin. The problem is, after about age 30, both of those signals start to get weaker. The pulses just get smaller, they happen less often, and they're just not as effective as they used to be.
And this isn't a small drop. We're talking about a decline in your growth hormone output of roughly 14% every single decade. So by the time you hit your 40s or 50s, you're basically running on a fraction of the horsepower you had in your 20s.
And that 14% decline, it's not just a number. It's the reason for the things you're actually feeling. It translates directly into that visceral fat building up around your organs, the loss of muscle density even though you're hitting the gym, the slow recovery, the sleep that doesn't feel refreshing, and just that general metabolic drift that makes everything feel like an uphill battle.
So what do we do about it? Let's break down the solution, starting with the first part of the blend, Tesamorelin. Now, Tesamorelin is basically a smarter, more resilient version of your body's own GHRH signal. It has this little structural tweak that protects it from an enzyme called DPP4. You can think of DPP4 as the thing that normally chews up and destroys your natural GHRH too quickly. Tesamorelin is specifically designed to outlast it and get the job done.
So Tesamorelin really sets the tempo. It's the pulse initiator. It's like a conductor telling the pituitary when to release growth hormone, and just as importantly, it tells it to do it in that natural, healthy rhythm. What's absolutely critical here is its precision. It does all this without messing with any of your other important hormones. Your cortisol, your thyroid, everything else stays perfectly in balance.
And we know it works. The proof is right in the data. Clinical studies show that it causes a mean increase in something called IGF-1, which is the best measure of GH activity, of 181 micrograms per liter. That is a substantial, meaningful restoration of that youthful signal. Okay, now for part 2. This is where Ipamorelin comes in and does something truly elegant. It works on that second pathway we talked about, the ghrelin receptor. But here's the magic of Ipamorelin. It's incredibly selective. It triggers a powerful release of growth hormone, but, and this is a huge but, it does it without raising your stress hormones like cortisol or making you feel hungry. It is a clean, pure amplification signal.
This selectivity is exactly what makes the combination so brilliant. You have Tesamorelin initiating the pulse on one pathway, and you have Ipamorelin amplifying that pulse on a completely separate pathway. They meet at the same destination. It's pure synergy. Tesamorelin says, okay, time to release, and Ipamorelin says, great, and let's make it a really strong, effective pulse. The result is a much more robust, youthful growth hormone profile.
And this brings us to what might be the most important point of all. The pattern, that pulse, that rhythm is everything. Your body's ability to burn fat and build muscle responds to the rhythm of growth hormone, not just the raw amount. It's not about flooding the system. It's about restoring the signal. And that's why this 2X blend can achieve results that neither peptide could ever achieve on its own.
All right, let's talk about what this actually looks like for you. The protocol is a simple, daily subcutaneous injection that you do yourself in the evening. Typically, you'll want to do it at least 90 minutes after your last meal and about 30 minutes before you go to bed. And that timing is key. You need to be in a fasted state because things like insulin can dampen the response. We're just intelligently aligning the therapy with your body's own natural nighttime surge of growth hormone.
In the very beginning, what we call the opening phase, that's about weeks 1 through 4, the first changes you'll notice are systemic. Honestly, the first thing most people report is incredible sleep quality. Just deeper, more restorative rest. Your energy levels start to even out during the day, and you'll notice you're recovering from workouts faster. the internal machinery is revving up, even before the visible changes kick in. Next up is the building momentum phase, from about week 4 to week 12. Now this is when you really start to see the difference. That stubborn visceral fat starts to reduce measurably. Clinical data shows around a 15% drop right in this window. You'll notice it in your waistline, your triglycerides go down, and if you're working out, your muscle definition really starts to pop.
And finally, we have the crescendo. This is from week 12 onward. This is where you achieve full metabolic recomposition. The long-term data shows that the fat reduction is maintained and your lipid profiles continue to improve. A lot of our clients also report amazing cognitive benefits, just better focus, sharper memory, and more mental clarity. At this point, everything is working together and the results just compound.
So the big question is, once you're on the protocol, what can you do to pour fuel on the fire and really amplify these amazing results?
Okay, a few things are absolutely non-negotiable. First, protein timing. This blend is a powerful amplifier for building lean muscle, so your Zvia provider will give you specific protein targets to maximize that. Second, that fasting window before your injection, you have to protect the pulse from insulin. Third, resistance training and HIIT workouts create their own natural GH spike, which stacks perfectly with the blend. And finally, sleep. Deep, slow-wave sleep is where this therapy does its best work. A cool room, a consistent bedtime, these aren't just suggestions, they are crucial parts of the protocol.
Now, let's talk about this Zvia difference. The delivery is a simple injection, but the magic is in the dosing. Your Zvia provider determines the exact ratio and titration schedule based on your unique biology, your lab markers, and your goals. This is the absolute opposite of a one-size-fits-all approach.
And this is probably the most important distinction I can make. Taking straight exogenous growth hormone is like using a sledgehammer. It overrides your body's natural systems. The 2-Next blend is like using a scalpel. It works with your body's own regulatory architecture. We are restoring the signal, not replacing the hormone. That means we preserve all the natural, healthy feedback loops your body already has in place.
And let's just hammer home the numbers one more time, because this isn't guesswork. Clinical trials showed a 15.4% reduction in visceral adipose tissue. That's the dangerous, inflammatory fat that wraps around your internal organs. A truly significant change.
And the metabolic benefits don't stop there. An average drop of 50 points in triglycerides was seen in the Phase 3 data. These are life-changing numbers that reflect a profound improvement in your overall metabolic health.
And remember, you are never doing this alone. Throughout your entire journey, the Zvia team is right there with you, monitoring your lab work and your progress at every checkpoint. We're constantly fine-tuning your protocol based on how your body is responding. It is a true partnership.
Look, at the end of the day, this is all about restoring a signal your body already knows how to use. The signal has just gotten quiet over the years. All we're doing is turning the volume back up. The team at Zvia is here to figure out if this is the right approach for you, to calibrate the entire protocol specifically to you, and to walk with you every single step of the way. If this sounds like the solution you've been looking for, I encourage you to take the next step. Visit our website at www.zvia.com. That's zvia.com. Or just give us a call at 303-902-5353. You can schedule your personal consultation with the Zvia team today.
Please remember, this information is for educational purposes only. Your dedicated Zvia provider will perform a complete evaluation to determine if this protocol is appropriate and, most importantly, safe for your individual health and needs.